दलित एंटर नहीं कर सकते क्यों?
जी सर। किसने किया है? कोई आइडेंटिफाई हुआ?
Another week, another cinema. And this one isn't just another. Because when I walked out of Dharak 2, I was in complete shock or in complete silence or in complete awe of what I just witnessed. Not because it left me empty, but because it left me full of questions, discomfort, and a strange sense of admiration to the craft. We were always taught love stories are supposed to be simple. Boy meets girl, family disagrees. They fight for each other. But in Dhadak 2, the fight isn't just for love, it's for survival. Caste, honor, politics. All standing between two people. And their right to just exist. But before we go deeper, let me tell you the good and the bad aspects so you can decide whether to watch Dhadak 2 in your respective theaters or not. The good. Let's talk about what Dhadak 2 gets absolutely right. Siddhant Chaturvedi's portrayal of Nilesh is refreshingly unmatched. He's allowed to cry, to break, to be vulnerable, something Indian cinema often hesitates to give its male characters. Tripti Dimbri as Vidhi is written with agency and conflict. She's not just reacting to the story, she's driving it forward. There's one monologue especially where she shines, where she questions why a family's honor always rests on a woman's shoulder. It's piercing and it's kind of writing that lingers long after you leave the theaters. Director Shaja Iqbal deserves credit for maintaining a distinct female gaze, ensuring that both leads feel human, flawed, and real. The humor in the script is another strength. It's not forced, it comes from character interactions, cultural quirks, and moments of relief that make the heavier scenes hit harder. And yes, the film is visually beautiful. There's a restraint in how the camera moves, allowing the performance to take the center stage. The DOP captures this world through an unintrusive lens, handheld frames, natural light, and observational camera work, making you feel like a silent witness rather than a distant spectator. So, where does it falter? Or where does it go wrong? The bad. The first half is tight, urgent, and compelling, but somewhere after the interval, the two begins to slip. The pacing slows down, subplots that seem important at first, especially around the secondary characters, disappear without closure. It's really frustrating because the setup is so strong, but the payoff feels very incomplete. Then there's the aesthetic choice. The earthly muted tones might look cinematic, but there is falling into what many people call Instagram filter cinema. Stylish? Yes, sure. But in emotional moments, it adds distance when you should be feeling the intimacy. And finally, the soundtrack. Yes, it's safe, predictable, and also very functional in some scenes, but it's rarely memorable. It supports the narrative without elevating it. In fact, in certain high stakes scenes, silence itself could have hit harder than the music that played. One thing you simply can't ignore, Direct 2 is a remake of a Tamil film, and remakes are always tricky. They carry the burden of comparison and the danger of being dismissed as unoriginal. And here's the surprise, this one actually works. Yes, certain edges have been softened partly because of CBFC regulations, which strip away some of the raw intensity of the original. Yet, the adaptation doesn't feel lazy or hollow. It doesn't chase a frame by frame copy. Instead, it reimagines the same story for a wider, more mature mainstream audience. It may not hit with the same heaviness, but it remains impactful, moving, and above all watchable. And in world of remakes, that's no small feat. Despite its flaws, Director stands out. It's not perfect, but it's important. It doesn't tell us love story, it dissects the system that decides who gets the love freely and who pays the price for it. The ugly. The remake comparison. When it comes to Bollywood remakes, Dhadak 1 is a textbook example of what not to do, and Dhadak 2 a rare example of how to finally get it right. Dhadak 1 starring Ishan Kishan and Janvi Kapoor, the debutants, tried to recreate the Marathi masterpiece Sairat. And sure, it had Ajay Atul's soundtrack, one of the best we have heard the last decade. But let's be clear, music alone can't carry a hollow film. The screenplay played it too safe. The direction was predictable, it sanded down the rough edges of Sairat's raw commentary, replacing them with glossy visuals and commercial tropes. The very heart of the story, the uncomfortable reality of intercaste marriage, was treated more like a plot point than a lived reality. And that's the thing about topics like these. Intercaste love stories are inherently uncomfortable because they deal with power, privilege, and prejudice. They demand sensitivity and nuance that One instead chose to commercialize an already successful script rather than deepen it. However, Direct 2 on the other hand does the opposite. It doesn't just tell a story again, it adds layers, it shifts perspective, it allows moments for you to think. It shows you the personal cost of love in a society that still values honor over love. The discomfort isn't just hinted at, it's lived, it's felt, and it's unshakable. For me, that's what cinema should do, make you feel, make you think, and maybe make you feel uncomfortable. And Direct 2 does exactly that. Thank you for watching. If you like this breakdown, hit like, share, subscribe, and share your comments down below. And do subscribe to Pop Scene Studios. And while you're at it, check out Pop Scene Studios for even more cinematic content. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.
Change the social system. But your prime minister and others make a lot of speeches against the caste system. These endless speeches, the same problem. I'm sick of speeches. We like to have action.